Well, this evening. This is gonna be my last video for the evening because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. And it's gonna be my video reply to: Is there a Trump slash Putin conspiracy? And this is a video made. And anyways, and basically, quite frankly, of course, the accusation's been made by the usual suspects, by the left and the neocons in the establishment and the media. And quite frankly, I mean, I think it's exaggerated. I mean, just because Russia and other countries that want to break free of the Western Atlanticist orbit and or are already friendly with Russia want Trump to win and have given vocal support, such as Putin in Russia himself and Le Pen in France and Assad in Syria. One, that doesn't mean that there's somehow a collusion between Trump and Russia or the Eurasian powers aligned with Russia. But quite frankly, even if that were the case, that this was a Russian-backed hacking of the U.S. elections to put Trump into power, frankly, there's a lot of realpolitik reasons why this would be justified. I mean, with the other options that could have won, whether it's uh, the neocons of the GOP or the equally as dangerous, if not more, regressive leftists of the Democratic Party. Both parties are imperialist. One party wants a hawkish for imperialist foreign policy for the sake of fighting a war with Israel's enemies. The other one is same thing, except it's a very anti-Russian hawkish foreign policy. Both believe in social and cultural engineering. One is in the name of cultural Marxism. The other is in the name of Zionism. Although, to be fair, at least the minus their Zionism, neocons tend to be socially and culturally conservative and traditionalist, minus their Zionism notwithstanding, obviously. And frankly, there is a definite reason. It's not like the U.S. has never interfered in the foreign affairs of other nations or elections for that matter. And at least in this case, even if you wanted to put the best face on the media and establishments in North America, that there is Russian interference in the recent U.S. election that brought Trump to power. Frankly, there's a justified reason, looking at it from a Russian national interest foreign policy point of view, is that Trump's one of the few in either party that have actually voiced a more defensive as opposed to an offensive foreign policy, having good relations with other nations, in particular Russia. So even if there was allegedly a Trump-Putin conspiracy, frankly, I'm going to go on a limb here and say there's every justification for one. Neither country has an interest in being led by the nose in either an aggressive third world war and U.S. meddling in Russia's backyard. Very much in a that's the hopes of individuals like Brzezinski and the anti-Russian foreign policy that the Democrats have, or the Odin plan of which is what the neocons and the Republicans have, which is balkanizing the Middle East and waging a war with Israel's enemies, or what the left in general and the Democratic Party want domestically, which is to destroy traditional white Christian society in the West. So between the neocon conservative Republicans and the regressive leftist cultural Marxist in the Democratic Party, both parties, with the lone exception of Trump and the GOP, would mean imperialism abroad, economic socialism at home, and also cultural Marxism at home as well. So, frankly, I completely understand why, and obviously the tentacles of the U.S. empire's worldview, whether it comes to foreign or domestic affairs, reaches all over the world, whether it's backing interfering with with Russia and Europe in general's traditionalist culture, and supporting George Soros-backed schemes of waging demographic warfare against the white Christian population, or the Brzezinski plan of supporting aggressively anti-Russian extremist groups in particular uh, Ukraine, or supporting or so or supporting anyways. So there's definite reason for there to be for Russia to have a vested interest in a Trump election. And frankly, there's a lot of justification for why I'm rambling on here. Why Trump has a justified reason to interfere in the foreign affairs of the U.S. election. I don't think that he did, but if he did, the U.S. empire as it's standing right now is not Russia's friend. With at least Trump, there would be the potential of being a little more even-handed foreign policy, and being a little more realpolitik, very much in the sort of paleo paleo tradition of, let's say, Nixon, who realized that we may not like the governments of Russia and China, but you need to learn to stay out of affairs that don't concern us and don't interfere in their backyard. Just as the U.S. was upset with putting weapons in nuclear missiles in Cuba, though Russia is rightly concerned um, when the U.S. When the U.S. and NATO interfere in Russia's backyard, whether it be Turkey during the Cold War or the Ukraine today. So to finish this video, is there a Trump-Putin conspiracy? Not in the sense that Putin is interfering in U.S. elections, but quite frankly, if he did, he has a hell of a lot more reason from a Russian foreign policy point of view to do it. Not that I'm saying he did, but he has much more of a decent realpolitik reason, considering what the alternatives were. Because whether it's the Democrats or the neocons, both of them are aggressively pro Israel, anti Russia, and pro cultural Marxism, and are economically state socialist. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye.